Okay, so let's go. Obviously, first of all, welcome to this week's AMA, everyone. If any of you see anyone talking about how they missed the AMA or can't make it, just let them know that, of course, all the AMAs are recorded and they do go up on YouTube. If any of you miss my voice or Ryan's voice, you can always tune back in and listen to us a second time. And oh, it's Diala. It's kind of grim. Um, so actually, I never said I was going to lose my voice, but anyway, yeah. So essentially, we're gonna go on and start now. So first of all, I want to say just welcome to this week's AMA. Apologies we couldn't make it last week, but as you know, as we go on, we're gonna begin now. So I think T, you can take over the first bit, right?
Yeah, with the new hires. So yeah, I'll get into it. So yeah, guys, we announced, I believe.
That was a quick. T, you're completely disconnected. Oh, he can't even hear me. Oh, well. Damn, when T? Oh my God. Okay, looks like T has been uh, rugged by his internet. So I will continue after. Oh, you're back. Okay, that works. Hello,
Yeah,
T.
no,
Are you back?
this is terrible. I don't know. This happens every AMA. This is not good. Um, but yeah, did you guys lose me in the beginning?
Yeah, you said okay. So with the hires and then shoop, gone.
Okay. Okay. So with the new hires, we're receiving so many applications. We're still going through them. We have about like 4 to 5 meetings every single morning, since that's the time zone that works best for everyone. Um, and we're still hiring for every single position. Just because we announce someone for a certain position doesn't mean we're done hiring for that position. So just kind of to go through it, marketing, that's one of the top priorities. We're definitely looking for the right person. We're meeting with people. The issue is it's hard to find the right person that has the proper intention, who's not just doing it just for the money, or they're actually have an interest to help SVS. That's been the difficult thing, but we are meeting with a firm on Monday, and we do have a couple others lined up as well. So that's definitely top priority. But another exciting bullish one is we're announcing that Space has joined us as a strategic partner, and his emphasis will be in event planning and coordination. For those of you who don't know Space, he is the connoisseur of the SVS champagne. And we're still hiring more people for that position, especially, we're even going to work with contractors for, specific occasions. Another one is Thrall, who is, the blood bank manager and writer. And his tasks as, manager of the blood bank, it's going to be increasing voter participation through announcements, reminders, etc. Also, keeping everyone in the loop, promoting and engaging in constructive proposal discussion. He's going to be doing his best not to have a bias, but rather play devil's advocate. And then he's also going to be helping out as a writer. So the Media Mondays and other written content, Thrall is also going to be helping out with. Um, and then another big one is Sniven, who is joining the team as a back-end developer. He is a pioneer of restock monitors, and he is very, innovative in everything that he does. And he always, strives to work outside of the box. So he's going to be joining the team to expedite development and also provide his creative input. Next one we have is Brungus, who actually posted the very first community event yesterday. It's a generative dungeon event where you can win ETH and whitelist spots. So you guys can go check that out in, Lair Events channel. And he's going to be working to plan more of these events every week, games, tournaments, etc. And then he's going to be coordinating with other communities as well. And then another great addition that 2D kind of went over her, Dyla. He mentioned her earlier. She's going to be joining us as a community manager, joining the existing team and working alongside them. She has a very strong background in politics, and she also creates, pretty entertaining content on her Twitter. You guys should go check that out. But she will be, working with us in several ways. But more importantly, also, focusing on being a bridge between, the elders and the community, and really helping improving that communication. And then another position that we didn't mention in the applications, but just wanted to fill you guys in on, is brand ambassadors. We created our own little program for bringing in brand ambassadors, influencers in the space who are growing themselves, and we're going to be partnering with them, helping them grow and also grow SVS alongside it. So these are going to be more so, organic, homegrown influencers who maintain a good public, image and grow themselves and represent SVS while doing so. So those the micro influencers slash brand ambassadors, they will be, announced pretty soon. Yep, I think that wraps up the
Yeah,
new hires.
that's perfect. So thank you, T. Yeah, I think T did that perfectly. So, welcome everyone that is new, to the team. As we are still aggressively hiring, pretty much. We still had calls right before this AMA today, anyway. So far we have seen that expanding the team is very doable, and we are going to keep it going as much as possible. Okay, so now on to the other points. So the dash. So the full dash will be out by the 8th of April. So depending where you are in the world right now, that is going to be Friday. Um, you know, our lead developer, Freddie, will make sure that the dash will be out by the 8th of April. So this is something that you guys have been looking forward to. Same as us, it's been a long time coming, and we do have a lot of stuff that we can include and integrate with the dash and carry on from there, right? So, as you guys know, we always listen to feedback and see what is said by the community. And one of the things that was raised a lot was that you guys wanted to see that we give certain deadlines that we expect internally, and we put them out externally to you guys. So now we will be giving dates on certain things. Um, so we're going to say 8th of April for the dash. Okay, and the next one is going to be the blood revamp and the Bloodbags. So, as you all have seen, there was a proposal for the very popular proposal for the blood bag and blood rework, right, for the DAO. So we are in the midst of finalizing the blood rework proposal, and what's going to happen is the details of this proposal will be posted by this week. So the dash is going to come, we're going to say by 8th of April, but then we're going to post the details of the blood rework proposal, which we think is the most doable option, out on the by the 10th of April. So that's the other kind of concrete date that we're trying to work with, and we thought that we would share with you guys for that, right? So we've also seen the recent great feedback, and the proposal made about the blood bag. This is something that obviously we've been considering internally for a while, and we've taken that proposal, we've looked at it in quite detail, and then we are working on it and tweaking it, that proposal alongside the blood rework, right? So uh, we're going to try and include as much detail of that as possible in the announcement, which we'll post on the April 10th. So what we're going to do with the announcement for April 10th, we will probably put it in we'll be doing it in a medium format most likely, and then we will be putting it out there, and you guys can have a look and give us feedback as what you think is possible, and we'll see how doable it is. Okay, so and blood bags will offer a bonus to hold. So this is something that's important for all of you guys, right? So Bloodbags will offer a bonus to holders who own essentially every kind of SVS collection that has been released. So if you hold a vampire, that's Gen 1 essentially, a vampiress, which is Gen 2, and a bat, you will be eligible for some sort of bonus to be just, to be as simple as possible. Okay, so Timmy Bits, you asked about pixel vamps, right? So this is something that we are going to consider. I personally am a fan of, including the pixel vamps in this, so maybe for like a bigger bonus or something like that. But we do know that, uh, that maybe is not so doable, right? Because some people might have lost their pixel vamp, so it's already been minted by somebody else if they bought one off the market or something like that. So uh, essentially, I don't want to get off tangent. So if you hold all three, you'll get a bonus for the blood bag, and then essentially you have to hold one of each of the token to be eligible. So if you have, let's say you have like 10 vamps, 10 Gen 1 vamps, 10 vampresses, and 10 bats, then you kind of get like 10 entries essentially to something for the blood bag, right? So this is something that we can't give you the details of, and you will see for yourself come April 10th. But even though it is called the blood bag, the blood bags may not include only blood. Eye emoji, eye emoji, eye emoji, fire emoji. And yeah, that's it for the proposals.
Okay, so the next thing is on the champagne competition that we hosted a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen it on Twitter with a few of the great entries. So the two winners of this 5-star dinner, which we didn't specifically announce, it happened last Friday, and the two winners will be two vamps that you do see in the chat quite often, which is Hijack and Caramelum. They both travelled to the UK last Friday to enjoy the dinner with our champagne connoisseur space. So they travelled from the US and from Denmark as well. So I did see a few people in the chat saying, we only picked entries who were close to London because they were definitely going to make the dinner, but that definitely isn't the case. This was two fully expense-paid trips from the USA and from Denmark, and we got some great feedback from both of them about how they enjoyed the champagne and enjoyed the dinner. So we can't wait to do more events like this, not just around the champagne, but just even, rather than just being large-scale events. That are going to have hundreds of vamps there. Also, some more smaller, intimate, dinners, drinks, any sort of smaller events as well, like these. So we've got a few of these planned as well, smaller competition type events that we want to be rolling out in between the larger events as well. And then while we're on the subject of the champagne release, we've been finalising some more details about that, not just about the release itself, as the champagne and the boxes and everything is now ready to go, but more on the side of how this release is going to happen, the Chalice NFT and things like that. So the Chalice NFT is ready to go as well. That's going to be purchasable with blood, and then you'll be able to use that to burn it to be able to claim your bottle of champagne. As we've said all along, there's 1,500 bottles up for grabs in the first batch, and then for future batches and going forward, depending on how many people want it, this is going to be changed. There might be version 2 bottles, version 2 boxes, and things like that. We definitely don't want this champagne to be forgotten about after the first release. It's been in the works for so many months, and we can't wait for everyone to get it in their hands. So we've got full marketing campaigns, photo shoots, and everything ready, along with a launch party for the SVS champagne, which will be tying into some of our June events that we have planned. June's going to be the month where the SVS, especially the larger scale events, really ramp up, which 2D is going to talk about now as well.
Okay, hello. I am back, everyone. So essentially, Ryan just covered the champagne press release and marketing, right, Ryan? So yeah. So essentially, June is going to be, the month where we really kick off the event stuff. This is something that we've been talking about for quite a while. Obviously, due to COVID restrictions, we were not able to really, it wasn't very doable last year. So now it's a bit more doable. So we're going to get it going. So obviously, the first two events that we plan on doing is going to be in June. Okay, so these are going to be quite large scale events. Obviously, we do know we have quite a lot of holders in the States, and then we have some in Europe. So we're going to be doing one in America, the States, and one in London, right? So, so currently, so with the one in the States, we are going to be coinciding this with NFT NYC. Okay. So for those of you who are planning to attend NFT NYC who are near, I do recommend you guys go on. So essentially, we'll be having an SVS booth in NFT NYC, and then we'll be corresponding this event with kind of like an event/party of our own that goes alongside it just for our holders, right? So obviously, it's going to be just for our holders, but maybe we can do something alongside which includes and encourages other people to get involved with SVS and go on from there, right? So these are the first two larger scale events that we're putting on. And as we progress down the line, we will want to continue this kind of like arrangement and plan to have a large impact on the NFT space and just marketing in general across other major conventions this year. So with the London one, it's going to be themed as like our champagne launch event. So essentially, we know that really no other NFT project has kind of done something like this, where they've released their own campaign, and then we're going to make it quite, we're trying to make it very exclusive and high end, and we are very happy with the results so far. So the London event is going to be more of a champagne launch party. So for the guys who are in Europe, or even if you're in America or anywhere around the world, if it is doable for you guys, we would love if you guys would fly down and come attend the event. It would be great fun, right? So obviously these are two large scale events, right? Which we will be spending money on and kind of making it a memorable time, and then use this as a good leverage for marketing as well, because all of this stuff does make it does have an impact on the outside, right? So this does not mean that smaller and more community-based events are not on our radar at all, right? We see this mentioned in the lair quite often, and I've seen people DM me about this, So as we mentioned last week, we are currently in the works of small events too, so this can be executed in a more timely manner. Essentially, this is like, let's say if you guys, some of you guys live in a certain part, maybe it's not doable with NFT NYC or something like that. So it's on a smaller state or something. So you guys can kind of organize this alongside yourselves and bring it up to some of the elders, or some of the co-founders like us. And alongside with coordinating some of our several, big events, we can get some, some of like the more long-standing community members to hold and head some smaller events, across the globe. This can be literally anywhere. That if you guys can kind of organize something on your own, you just bring it to us, and then we will see how doable it is on our end, and then we will help you guys fund it and organize it and make this an enjoyable experience for some of you guys who maybe can't make it all the way to London or America or New York or NFTLA or something like that down the line, and kind of like be part of the experience as well, right? So all in all, we just want you guys to know June is going to be a huge month. Actually, it's going to be big from beforehand, right? Rion, because we have the champagne marketing, champagne press release, and then that coincides with our champagne launch event. So this is all going to be great amount of content, great amount of marketing, and then so something that T mentioned as well. Just want to put some emphasis on for you guys. My throat. Okay, it's just some emphasis is that next week we have a meeting. We have a meeting with a very big marketing agency that kind of that pretty much specializes with other crypto projects and is very native in the Web3 space. Obviously, we can't give out any names or anything like that now. Unfortunately, Natasha Sharma, I'm sorry, but the meeting is set in stone, and we have been spoken very highly of them. We have been given an introduction to them. And then, so we're hoping that this goes very well, and we are very keen on pursuing this further. And then this is something that we have been looking at, right? Obviously, hiring people to assist with marketing and expanding the team is good. But obviously, going with someone who is reputable in the space and has done this before is something that's very exciting for us, and that's definitely what we're emphasizing on to grow this as big as possible. So we hope that everything goes very well, and and we can get some very big campaigns pushed out, especially with the next couple of months that we have planned. And no, it is not Danny for those of you that have asked. And on to you, Rion.
Okay, so we just wanted to mention as well about Nansen. I know a few people have been mentioning because we've done 2 AMAs with them now, so we hope people enjoyed the second AMA with them last week. We apologise to the few people who were expecting a normal AMA and didn't want the break in the usual AMA schedule. If you missed it, the video for it isn't out yet, but that'll be coming out later tonight in the recordings channel alongside this AMA. If you want to listen again, which I'm not sure why you would, but maybe you like 2D's voice that much. But we just wanted to reiterate that we do still have a lot more plans with Nansen. I know some people aren't as impressed just doing AMAs with them and learning how to use the software and things. I know a lot of people think it's very expensive as well, so they would love to use it, but they don't necessarily want to commit to the expense. So that's why we are excited to continue working with Nansen, because although it's not doable to obviously just give Nansen for free to everybody in the lair, that's not something that's potential, but we do want to give people free trials, discounts, work it in with blood and things like that. So we have been talking to their team about things like that because we love their tool as a team. We use it ourselves, and we'd like to extend that to the Vamps because I know the people who did use it. There was 500 people who received a free 2-week trial, and a lot of them really did enjoy using it. So we can't wait to continue doing more things with Nansen. And then the final thing on Nansen is we were speaking to their team earlier today, and there will be an announcement later today in the verified announcement channel about Nansen. So we'll be posting that shortly after the AMA finishes, and we'll appreciate if any Vamp holders, Vampress holders, Bat holders who are verified check out the verified announcement later today.
So, yeah, thank you, Rion. I think I just on to you, T, to finish it up.
Yeah, just
T.
on the merch, right?
Yep. And also before T goes on to the merch, just reminding all of you guys that the dash will be done by the 8th of April. It'll be done by the 8th of April. This Friday, putting that date out there for you guys. And then we also will be having the rework and stuff like that by the 10th of April. So yeah, just reminder for you guys, these are the dates. We want to be as open with you guys as possible and make things as good as possible. So yeah, thank you, T.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, for sure. So just an update on the merch. Big thing is, that sort of the collab that we mentioned a while back with a skate brand. And just for full sake of transparency, I'm gonna tell you guys the entire the story. So here's how it went.
Yep. So you guys
Obviously,
ready for story time?
yeah,
This is
story.
we've been holding
Yeah,
this in for quite a while, right? So for months now.
yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
yeah,
we
it's
can go on now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with our merch, and it wasn't something that we were entirely too happy about. A little leak from Ryan. Merch from our current provider, and then we were okay, let's do our own merch. But then in the midst of that, we got the very good collab opportunity with another brand. So obviously we didn't make sense for us to do merch twice. So it was like, okay, let's work with this other brand. Um very respectful other brand. We still have a very good relationship with them. Absolutely nothing is wrong. The situation is literally, they're very busy. They sent us through some designs, and we personally, like the team, we didn't really like those designs. They weren't something that we would necessarily wear ourselves, so we provided some feedback. We also, we let them know about like, oh, we're not too happy with these. If we could kind of, work it over again. So they're kind of, we put them on that track and, they're doing their thing. But our focus, we decided to shift our focus back onto our own merch since we're able to actually control the quality, the products, everything. So for the time being, our focus is going to be on our own merch that, I'm working on getting us deadlines for extremely soon. But that is it. So that collab is pretty much put on pause. We might decide to execute it closer to some of these events, but for just the time being, we're working on our own merch. And yeah, that's pretty much the story. The designs weren't too interesting, and we decided to work on our own stuff. Yeah.
Much. So for some of you guys that were asking the brand Rion, I can tell them right quickly. What do we say? It's,
I don't know.
it's not Supreme, okay? It's not Supreme. It's just a reputable skate brand. It's going well. But essentially, we are just revisiting them and working on kind of more designs. Like what T said, essentially. Yeah, they're a very OG skate brand, very respected in the space. And yeah, we're gonna revisit them soon, and hopefully we get some good designs out, and then we can go on from there. Okay, so now we go to the Slido. Right, Rion?
Okay, yeah, so the first question is from Math, who says, why doesn't SVS do Twitter Spaces and connect with other successful project founders on Space to bigger your network?
So for those of you who've been around for a while, you know that we're big fans of Twitter Spaces, and something that we mentioned last week with Lair TV is that we will be doing Lair TV on Twitter Spaces where it is possible. And we mentioned that the first Lair TV episode was meant to be out last week. So essentially, this wasn't possible. You know, this wasn't very doable with the Lair TV because our guest couldn't make it on Twitter Spaces next week. So essentially what we're going to do is, so there will be one next week. We can't name the guest yet, but there will be a Twitter Spaces next week, which will be the first official Lair TV episode. And then what's going to happen is that uh, we'll be recording it as well. We'll put our own little graphics and stuff. And then we will go on from there. Rion and T, I don't think we have showed them the Lair TV graphics yet, right? It's very bullish.
We haven't. Does that mean we should?
No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
haven't
Yeah,
included
do you guys want to see it? Maybe we can show it today or tomorrow.
Should we drop it, T?
maybe
We
just
can
drop
drop.
a little teaser on the TL maybe.
Yeah,
Like
should we drop a teaser on Lair TV? So the first Lair TV episode will come next week. Obviously, it is a podcast type setting, but it is going to be on Twitter Spaces, right? So this is going to be a little bit different because we do know with how the NFT space works, it's best on there. But yeah, for episodes that it's not so doable on Twitter Spaces, we will be doing it on you know, we'll be doing it on YouTube. All of them are going on YouTube, but we'll pre-record it. Okay, so we will post the Lair TV preview later on, and then now next Lido question, right? So, question for Rion is, why do all the alpha helpers get whitelist every project? We all have to fight over just a few spots every time / spend blood, etc. They're milking SVS alpha, sad face.
Sad face. Yeah, so we did speak to a few people about this. I know a few people spoke to Oinky in private as well to clarify this, because there was a lot of people who were concerned about this. It is a valuable concern to have, but unfortunately this isn't the case. The alpha helpers are not taking a majority of all spots. Just for clarification as well in regards to team spots, because I know a few people have seen that some of the alpha helpers do win the whitelist spots, but that is not from the community slots, and that never is. So the procedure when it comes to spots is always that the community spots will be secured first, and always before asking for team spots. So for example, if a project is negotiating how many spots they're going to give, and they'll finally agree to give the community 50 spots, what the alpha team will then do after they've secured the 50 spots and they've realised that that is as high amount of spots as a project will give, is they'll then ask if there could be, say, 5 extra spots for Twitter giveaways or for the team. So I do know that this is another question in the Slido, so we might as well address it now. Someone saying, why are we giving spots away on Twitter instead of giving them away to the community? But that's also not the case. That ties into what I just said, is that the community spots will always be finalised first, and it will be the maximum amount of spots that they're willing to give, and then the team will ask for if we can give away some on Twitter, or if some of the alpha helpers can get some spots. So it's never a fact that the team or any of the alpha helpers or the Twitter giveaways are deducting from the community spots. We've already got the maximum amount of spots that they are willing to give to the community, and any that the alpha helpers do win are additional.
Yep, essentially, this ties in some of the marketing questions that we see as well. When projects do the cross posting with us and give some slots on Twitter, it is very beneficial on the marketing side of things. Lots of people from both projects and other people who aren't aren't involved with either project yet get exposed to us. So that in itself has its own role, and it does play its part, and that's mostly up to the other project that is giving us the slots. you can ask me next question. Oh, you can, yeah. Next one's for T, right, Rio?
Yeah, the next one is just when is the female Vamp merch? I know we tweeted that a few weeks ago as a teaser, so if there's any updates on when the actual merch is going to release. I know T just touched on merch, but maybe we can give a little extra.
Yeah, in it, T. Can you push the when female Vamp merch question, T?
Yeah, yeah. So just an exact update of where we're at right now. Right now we're in the process of working on our like cut and sew. We're not going to be using or we're not trying to use any blanks for this first round. So that's specifically where we're at is like working with someone quite experienced that we know who's working with these manufacturers to produce the the actual cut and sew like t-shirts and different clothing items. As per, the designs are almost finalized. So I say like next thing we really just need to do is get you guys some solid deadlines, which in a couple of days time, we'll try to get out. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're working on the cut and sew, and it should take up not too much longer, but we'll get you guys exact dates very soon.
Yeah, because we are when we want to push things now going forward, we are going to try and give you guys dates. I know it's quite hard in some instances, which is where we usually will say coming soon, because we would rather give you the info that we're working on it, but we don't have a set date. But we do see how that can be annoying for a lot of people. So wherever we can give at least any estimated dates, we'll be trying to do that as well.
And
So that,
just to add on to that, with this new team expansion as well, that's going to be introducing a whole new level of accountability, not only for, the new team members, but for us as well. So there is, moving forward, lots more deadlines and dates.
Yep.
Okay, so the next question is from Anonymous, and he says, building a brand. Are you hiring a brand manager and an agency? What are you planning in this area? What is the timeline? If the answer was no, then why aren't you?
So I touched on this a little bit earlier. We have hired some additional marketing help, some grassroots people as well. But essentially, this just ties exactly with what I mentioned previously, where we already have a meeting set with a very large, Web3 or crypto native agency. So that's coming next week, early next week. And we're going to just speak to them, essentially put everything out there, what we want from them, and things like that. And then we are just going to go, um, you know, along with them. So we've had a lot of calls and interviews with marketing people, and some of them have not been so fruitful or honest with what they have pushed. But yeah, so essentially, we are super excited for the call with this big agency, especially because they're specialized in Web3 and crypto. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, guys, just to clarify, after we're going to do a couple more Slido, and then just so could you guys just put your hands up if you guys want to speak to us. Let's get your hands up, get your hands going, and then we will speak to everyone who wants to put your hands up, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that's just a reminder in case any of you want to put your hands up. Oh, that was quick. Someone put. Oh yes, of course, Brock has his hands up. So and then we'll just do like a couple more pseudo questions, and then if there's any hands up, we'll address all of them. If not, we'll just go on from there. Okay, next question for Rion. Community resources. Maybe build an IPFS folder with SVS approved resources for the rest of the community. The rest of the community can use to produce better content related to the project.
Yeah, so this is a good question as well, because I do often get DMs, asking for a PNG of our logo or, a high quality version of some of our logos or from our merch. So this is definitely a good idea, and we will look to do that after today's AMA. So we will get at least a centralized area where, we can post some of our top main assets, some of the ones that will be used on the merch and things like that, so that most of our branding assets are in one place, so that if anyone does want to post anything on Twitter or make their own graphics or videos or anything like that, everything will be in one place. So thanks for this suggestion. This is a good one.
Okay, I think Rion, you can ask me that first question then. The one. Yes, this one.
Oh, the one from Apollo. Okay, I didn't think we were answering
Yeah, the
troll
one from
questions.
Apollo, aka maybe King 7, the blue
Okay.
name in chat who keeps posting this all day.
Okay, so Apollo, also known as King 7, who opened 27 incognito tabs to make it to the top of the list, says, "This is too much. I am literally on the verge of jumping off a bridge after buying bat heads for 20F just to realize our marketing is done by an 18-year-old."
Yeah, if you stack those 27 incognito tabs, it'll be a really high bridge, you know? Okay. So anyway, T does more than just marketing for us, and he's been with us for a long time. You know, for marketing, we rely on others and agencies and PR and stuff like that. And he's not 18, you know, it doesn't matter. He's not 18, so I don't know why this comes up so often. It is irrelevant, but yeah, essentially, you know. And we are also in the process, as mentioned, for the 17,000th time today with agency and things like that, you know. You know, you know, show his ID, says King 7. Yes, amazing. You know, I don't see what the point is. If you guys know, a lot of devs in this space are very young, even though some of them may be very large, like Freddy, big. So Freddy's actually 19. So, you know, he's, as we've seen, very doable and very capable with his talent in the space, you know, as we've seen in the last how many months we've been here. So, yeah, I don't think this is an important point, you know. Doesn't matter how young or old you are. Personally, I'm about 52 this year, so you know, we have space for everyone here. So yes, you know, I'll give you a thumbs up. Let's make that 28 incognito tabs. Okay, do you have any more Slido questions, Ryan? Let me ask you one.
Yeah, I think maybe we do one or two more, and then we see if Brock maybe wants to come up, give us a bullish update, or if there's any more hands.
Okay, I have a question for Rion. Can we have details on the Devour utility and blood rework?
Yeah, so we mentioned the blood rework earlier. That's coming by April the 10th, so that'll be coming out this week before the end of the weekend. And that will also include the Devour utility. So that's going to have the blood rework, it's going to have the blood bags, which 2D mentioned earlier, along with the Devour utility. So essentially by Sunday, you know, there'll be the whole proposal on how the whole new blood rework is going to work, how the bat devouring is going to work, and then the details on the blood bags, what these bonuses will be, you know, what some of the other prizes and gifts from within the blood bags might be. So everything will be out by the end of the weekend on that. And I do see another question that's quite high on the Slido as well, just saying when is the badge system coming. So just another reminder on that as well. That will be out by Friday the 8th of April. The entire new dash, the blood shop, and the badges will be released.
Yeah, that's perfect. So should we go on to the hands?
I think we should. I'll bring Brock up first so he can give us our update, and then we'll have 10 or so minutes left at the end. Hello, Brock.
Hello? Oh, we can't hear you, Brock.
Decided to rug us today.
Oh, we'll just give him another shot. Okay, so Brock, are you here? Bullish on 2D Vamp, you know. Thank you, Paper Root. You know, you know. Yep, okay, I guess we can pull up the next one while Brock finds his way back into his internet.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Hey, Brock. Yeah, we can.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, I was getting rugged hardcore right then. That was painful.
Oh, you sound different. Are you on a new mic?
I switched over to my phone. My
Ah,
couldn't handle the excitement apparently, and it just
well,
didn't.
welcome.
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, that's right. AKA Paul. For all of you new people who don't know me, I doxed myself very early in the Sneaky Vampire Syndicate journey. And it was on accident during one of these AMAs, I believe.
Yeah, one of the OG ones, you know?
Uh-huh. It was when I said it, I was like, hey, I just doxed myself. Good for me. Good for me. Anyways, I'm excited to hear all these new hires. We have so many cool people coming in. I mean, to see the growth in the project and everything is super rad, and as always makes me incredibly bullish on SVS. That really never changes, and I also have the benefit of numbers to look at to reinforce my weekly bullishness on this project. So without further ado, I will jump right into those. So for all the new people out there who this might be your first foray into an AMA with us, we have community initiatives, and what those are we set up social tasks every day. The community managers and myself plan them every day, and the whole purpose of them is to make sure that everybody knows about how awesome this project is and how dedicated this team is to the success of this project. And we do that through having you share tweets, having you compose your own tweets, and then we include our strategic hashtags and tags in there, because if you don't include hashtags in your tweets, nobody outside of your following is ever going to find you. So it's exciting for me because we have a lot of people who have DM'd me and been like, I have no followers. Is this really going to work? And then they do it. They include the hashtags, and I can't tell you the number of messages I get back. Oh,
One second, Paul. It seems nobody can hear us. Can you guys hear us? If you read the there. So some say yes, so everyone can hear me. They can't hear you, Paul. Could you guys hear Paul and his last 2 minutes?
Well, the same thing happened with T as well a few weeks ago.
Okay, can you say something now, Paul?
Can everybody hear Paul now? Oh,
ask them to type a letter in chat.
Type the letter P if you can hear me.
Okay, yeah, you can continue.
Damn,
that's a lot of P's. Holy shit! Come on now.
All right.
Okay, if you can't hear Paul, unfortunately, you'll have to tune into the recording, I guess, later on, because Paul's news is not to be missed.
That's right. It's always incredibly important news. So I guess I will start real fast and go back and say that our community initiatives help us spread the word about SVS, and then we include the hashtags in there to make sure that you can be seen across Twitter, that everybody can see you. So if you don't have a lot of followers, you are just as important as those people who have thousands of followers if you use those hashtags. And I'm sure you'll see that you'll gain followers if you use those hashtags as well. Can everybody still hear me? Go ahead and hit a P if you can hear me.
You guys have to be punking us, honestly. There's no way.
Totally. Yeah, it's like some people can hear it and some people cannot. Oh, no. Okay. Well, Crisis, you're just going to have to tell everybody. MJM France, you're just going to have to reiterate all of this great information to people.
Oh, my 52-year-old girlfriend just messaged me saying that she also cannot hear me.
Oh,
in and out, they say. Damn.
In and out. Let's see. Maybe
mom crisis.
Jump off cell. Maybe that's it.
Oh, okay, it's okay. You just go on. I think a few people still hear you, so just go on for a couple more minutes or whatever you have to say.
Okay. So with that being said, our community initiatives, right, they really help us get the word out there. And so what I do in our weekly meets is I like to go over the analytics. I track all of our analytics, and a big thing for us is reach. Reach is how many accounts did something about SVS show up in organically, right? That people saw that weren't connected to us at all, and it showed up as a result of us using these hashtags. So like this week, a lot of our community initiatives included the hashtag SVS NFT. That's our main hashtag. Because of all of the work that everybody did with the community initiatives, we hit over 1.3 million different accounts. That was our reach. Those are the total number of accounts that saw a post because of you all putting that hashtag in your post, so that they then saw that. And I can tell that that's working, because then when we go back and we look at our Twitter followers, in the last actually 5 days, we have added over 2,000 new Twitter followers. So when we look at numbers like 1.3 million, and you're like, well, how do we know if this really works? It's like, well, we can say, look at all of these new Twitter followers that we have now brought in, and then we kind of steer them into our Discord, and our numbers are up. We have added about 400 new members just in the last 10 days in there as well. So that stuff totally works. Our at SVS NFT hashtag hit over a little over 250,000 accounts. That's smaller than our hashtag because actually, if you look at a lot of the initiatives that we put, more people tend to use that hashtag in there as opposed to tagging. So that would make sense on those types of deals. And then when I also look at our OpenSea volume week over week, and our OpenSea volume has been incredibly consistent, anywhere between 32 to 35 ETH over the last 7 days for the last 2 weeks running and stuff. So what everybody is doing has a major impact on who we're bringing into the project, who's seen the project. And from a marketing standpoint, just so everybody knows, we do this on a regular basis because the average person needs to see something 6 times before they will take action on it, right? So we see this all the time when like community raids and we see this project, and we're like, I don't know anything about this project, but I'm seeing it pop up in Twitter all the time. So now I'm going to explore. The average person needs to see something 6 times before they do that. So that's why it's incredibly important that the community continues to interact with these community initiatives. And the success just continues to come. I look at all of our charts and everything continues to go up. So nice work, community. And a reminder, we're giving away Ledger hardware wallets to people who complete our community initiatives. So as if you needed an extra bonus to do it, there it is. So that's my diatribe.
Damn.
Now I can breathe.
That's bullish. What a shame nobody heard that. No, I'm just kidding, Paul. That was great.
It's our echo chamber of bullishness. That's for sure.
Yes, well, we can hear. Okay, thank you so much, Paul. That is, as always, very, very bullish. It's very doable, to see the progress that we're all making every. Oh, you should see this message I just got on Telegram. Can't hear Brock for some reason. I just heard you say bullish at the end. Damn.
Ah,
You do feel like that. It must have
that's
been
the
very
takeaway. Yeah, that's the takeaway. Bullish.
It's okay. That's not very doable, Brock. But you know what? It's fine. Thank you so much. They can all listen back on the recording, and we can go from there. Perfect. I think
I got to give a quick shout out to my fellow community managers. Thrall, excited to have you here. Brungus, I love you. I'm just excited that I get to say your name more often. Crisis, I love you, dude. Diala, super excited to be working with you. Vampirus, you are amazing. And Scotty, if you're out there, I love you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, before we pull up Three Musket, because he seems to be the only hand up, so if anyone does have a last minute question, be sure to put your hand up. But I was just speaking to our champagne connoisseur, and we've just confirmed that before the champagne releases, we're going to try and get some more events. Since the 2 people who attended the London event loved it so much, we're going to try and see if we can get a few more tastings in before everyone officially gets it in hand, just as a little exclusive for some more people. I do know that the original competition was almost slightly last minute, and not everyone was able to travel or get their entry in time. So hopefully over the next few days, next week or so, we'll get some more information out on some other tastings before the release.
that is very bullish.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing pretty good.
A lot of good news. You guys are, the question is why now to start with? Like, why decide to do all of this now? Not before, since clearly that was something like to start with. Obviously you're starting to do everything now properly, or maybe at least trying. I'm gonna be straight, like, this is what it came to. We know you guys do things, but clearly it's not enough, and I'm not trying to. I like everyone here. It doesn't like you should. Maybe you don't care about what I say. That's fine. It's one person's opinion, but it's not. And you released Gen 2, and there was nothing in plan next. Like nothing in plan next, as in literally you released it, And if anything, it looked like a cash grab. Again, nobody's accusing you, but I'm telling you what the thought of every holder is. And you guys did that, and the problem is you didn't have anything in place when other projects who launched even after us got everything ready. It took a while to get the blood staking ready. Like everyone said they were staking. You guys took longer than anyone. Everyone, Gen 2 and breeding, we just released Gen 2 and with nothing in plan. And every time we, like last AMA, you told us that what's it called? You told us that, yeah, you should have done that. You should have done that you messed up in the past. And I know, like, I don't know what the future holds, but we'll be there again with the pace of everything going. And, what else? Sorry. You're talking about firms now and hiring firms, and that hasn't worked in the past, but yet you're doing it again. So I'm not sure why you guys are very keen on doing that when
Well,
clearly
yeah, so not every firm, it's not one firm can speak for everyone, right? So if we didn't have a positive experience with a different firm, maybe we could try a different one now, right? Marketing in itself is it's a little bit in its own realm. And then especially for the point about staking, I think we were one of the fastest projects to release staking initially. I see a lot of Lair remembers that as well. Over the last 6 months, if you look back, 6, 7 months of the amount of stuff that we have done, it is quite a lot in volume and quality as well. We are obviously doing our best. We do know that there are certain things. We know that there are certain things that are lacking with certain, like certain parts of the project, right? So marketing was a big problem for a while. So now we're trying to take a different approach with this. Same with, when we first launched, we did the whole shebang. We did the billboards, we did cars around New York. We spent a lot of money and all that stuff. And, if you look back, you can say that didn't really work either, right? Definitely didn't translate. This real life marketing push definitely didn't translate to value back for the project, right? So now we're taking a different approach and trying something that's more, crypto based, I guess you could say. But as we go on, we are just trying to fix every gap that comes up along the way. But definitely we are, doing what we can where we can. Yeah, the question was a bit long-winded and here and there, so I don't know how to answer it without sounding like I also am not being long-winded, but yeah.
Yeah, I know it wasn't it was honestly more of an opinion, and like I'm not trying to FUD. Obviously, I try to obviously see I participate. I still tell my friends to buy Vamps. I'm rugging my friends in a way. Every one of them bought, and it's not your fault, but technically you're not. I'm telling you, you're not. We don't see that much has been done, and that's the truth. And my suggestion is, imagine this is extreme, but it makes sense. Clearly, people want out, hence the floor. So sell that sandbox land, which we had literally in the beginning. When you bought it, you said you're doing stuff there. You didn't do anything with sandbox. You completely neglected that. And it was World of Women just did that. Like they released after us, and they managed to be in sandbox and many other projects. Anyway, sell that land and buy the floor of those vamps and send them to a burn wallet. Literally, send them to a burn wallet. Nobody cares about them. Clearly, they're putting them on floor for a reason. They want out. Get rid of those vamps. No offense to the art, and we start fresh from there. I think. Anyway, I think our time is done, and
Perfect. So obviously, if you think quickly before you go on, Rion, just if you think that is something that should be done, you can just obviously, see whether the community does agree with you. I guess the best thing is you could make a proposal, see what people think about it, and then if it does a decent amount, then we will consider moving forward with it. Yeah, like Flame said, yeah, and everyone else, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously on quite a few occasions we could have bought the floor, but that's not really sustainable. I know, as you're saying, you personally think that the sandbox land is, less of a value than buying up the floor and sending them to a burn wallet, which may be possible. But if then people are just gonna, if people want to sell their vamps, that's just provided. We're just using almost what we promised the community, the sandbox land, that's currently being built on. To just provide exit liquidity for people who don't believe in the project, which doesn't seem particularly community focused as well.
But you're not using the sandbox land. We said it's for SVS and it was bought a long time ago and nothing happened with it. So I'm saying it's useless. It's not useless. It gained value since then. So might as well reinvest it back into to create some volume. Let the people raise the floor since they don't want their vamps to be sold. Then maybe it starts something. I don't know. It's just an idea. Anything to get rid of people who want out. Anyway, cheers, guys, and have a good night.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your night. Yeah, so for some of you guys who are wondering about the sandbox land, it's not possible. We are building on it. We have a pretty big plot. It's 3x3 estate, if I'm not wrong. And then we've, we've already been spoken with, builders and are keeping it going, it's not even a public game. The game is legit not even out yet. So this is just more something that we're taking our time to make it as good as possible for you guys, to be able to enjoy the lair, But yeah. Oh, some of you guys. Oh, I want to help design the lair. Maybe we can do some sort of like competition for see how you guys would envision the lair to look like in Sandbox or something like that. So yeah. Essentially, besides that, it is already. It's been an hour. Just want to say thank you, all of you, for this great AMA. We missed you guys. Happy to be here. Happy to speak to you guys, especially after not being able to be here last week. And um, so thank you so much. And yes, please, if anyone missed AMA, just let them know to tune in to the recording. But essentially, the highlights are the hires. 8th of April for the dash, 10th of April for the rework announcement, and then we'll have more news about the events and other things that we're doing off from there. So I think that's it from us. Just a personal thank you to all of you for always being around and supporting us. I see a lot of the same names I see 6-7 months ago, and just want to know that we appreciate you guys always and every week, and I couldn't be happier to be here, right? So we'll still be around. I'll still be in the lair if anyone wants to hang out, and check. No, I'm not 52. If that's what you're wondering. But yeah, I'm always here. We're always here every day. So yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, and of course, a big warm bye bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.